Hello all, this is the last track actually from our second album, All Life Is Here, that we're going to talk about today, Pilgrim's Cross. And yeah, I like this song a lot actually. It was built around a repetitive guitar riff that Andy was playing and a part that Simon was playing on the harp. So they'd kind of blended these sort of parts together, and then I used on the glockenspiel sort of a riff that you might recognise it from. It's very influenced by a very rather famous classical piece, and then built a vocal part around it. And what I wanted to do with this is I'd been out a lot, you know, as I still do, but when I first moved to Ramsbottom, where I've lived for the past 20 odd years on the West Pennine Moors, you know, do a lot of yomping across the moorland with the dogs that we've had over the years. And one day I was out walking up there and I'd gone right across sort of the skyline, really, the moors, and came across this big stone sort of tablet in the middle of the moor, in the middle of nowhere, really, over near a place called Helmshaw. And it had a thing on it saying, you know, the Pilgrim's Cross. And so obviously, what is this? You know, looked into it. Apparently there did used to be a cross there. And it was the halfway marker on the old medieval pilgrimage trail from the centre of Manchester. Obviously, Manchester had been a Roman fortress. So it was from the centre of Manchester over to Whalley Abbey in Lancashire. Hell of a, you know, long way. And the Pilgrim's Cross was the halfway point, which is quite a terrifying thought. You know, just the distances involved that people were walking. You wouldn't be doing it in a day, let's put it like that. So yeah, you mean you would get to this thing and go, hey, halfway home, you know, only halfway. So decided to frame a story around a pilgrimage. And of course, you know, this being myself, you know, I'm attracted to darker sort of human stories perhaps sometimes. And so this was the story of an ill-fated pilgrimage that provided the theme for the song. And you know, it's quite an unusual arrangement too. I think there's some lovely arrangements on some of the Harp and a Monkey stuff, actually, particularly on the first couple of albums. Some really kind of, you know, different arrangements, and this one is an unusual arrangement too. So this is the Pilgrim's Cross, and you're going to watch a version of it that we did actually during the sort of the gap between the first two lockdowns last year in 2020, when we were going out, you know, obviously into the hillsides around this part of the world, and we did an acoustic version of this song. But it's quite fitting because we're on, you know, the edge of the West Pennine Moors where we're doing it, actually over at Edenfield and in the Rossendale Valley. And yeah, and you've got all those beautiful sort of rolling hills behind it, which I think it's just quite a lovely spot that also kind of tallies with the story of the song. So enjoy the Pilgrim's Cross, and we'll be back next with, oh gosh, we're going to be on to album 3 next, aren't we? We're rattling through these. See you soon.
Hopefully that'll be okay because it's way down.
Yeah. Right, go on, Andy. Left on a Saturday, followed the Pilgrim's Trail, bound for the Abbey walls. The faithful come to heed God's call. We Walked over moorland paths, hungry from a first day fast. The weight of sin upon our backs, we prayed. By evening the thunder roared, lightning tore across the moor. From heaven the rain just poured, it ran like an open sore. We huddled by the Pilgrim's cross, way up on Helmshaw Croft. In fear of eternal loss, we prayed. Oh, dear God, how could you forsake us now? Oh, dear God, we're cold and alone, lost sheep a long way from home. When morning came, I heard the cry, a child had died in the night. I don't understand why now this sacrifice. Oh, dear God, how could you forsake me now? Oh, dear God, how could you take? Why did you claim my child? We left on a Saturday. By Sunday I'd lost my way.